The primary mission of this reserve cruise is resumed, training to become a proficient Navy fighting force. Sea routine and drills continue. Is another familiar weapon on the ships of our destroyer force, the Hedgehog, used for anti-submarine warfare. The regular crew members show the reservists how to load. After the initial firings, the reservists will get a chance to operate the gear and to demonstrate how well they have learned their lesson. A taut ship is a happy ship, so the busy training routine goes on. Gun crews, signalmen, and combat information center groups are beginning to function as well-drilled, alert teams.
Divine services is now being held on the fantail. Knock off all unnecessary work. The smoking lamp is out. Knock off all card games. Keep silence about the deck.
On Sunday, work temporarily halts on all ships for divine services. Meanwhile, the ships steam from Spain towards Portugal. Another respite from drills is in sight as the formation approaches the mouth of the Tagus River. River pilots will board and assist in conning the ships up the Tagus to Lisbon. Steaming up the river, the ships pass the spot from which Vasco da Gama set sail for India in 1497, Port Juliano, a memorial to Portugal's golden era of discovery and exploration. Mooring the ships alongside the quay wall is a challenge to seamanship. A young reservist tries his hand with a heaving line and makes it. 3 days of liberty in Lisbon for the reservists are scheduled. Lisbon is Portugal's chief city and one of the greatest international capitals of the world. First of all, a ride down the renowned three-part Avenida da Liberdade, the Portuguese Champs-Élysées. The boulevard is named for the great obelisk in the center, which commemorates Portugal's liberation from Spanish rule in 1882. The magnificent blue and white tile frescoes, so typical of Portugal, attract two of our seagoing sightseers. The fresco depicts the fall of the old Moorish castle in 1146. Other sailors head for the great tourist attraction, the castle of St. George, site of the battle shown in the tiles. The castle is estimated to be over 1,200 years old. In the shadow of its walls is the old city of Lisbon, the section which survived the great earthquake of 1755. Here in the harbor, studded with ships, is an old three-masted frigate built 122 years ago and now manned by the Portuguese Navy. It serves as a home and a school for 150 orphan boys ranging in age from 11 to 16. American reservists are invited aboard to observe the schooling and pre-naval training of the boys. Periodically, officers of the regular Portuguese Navy inspect the boys' training. The special tour arranged for the Americans starts with a parade of the snappy drum and bugle corps. Drums are decorated by the boys themselves, and the snares are covered by a unique sort of porcelain developed at the school. The young cadets exhibit their skill in marlin spike seamanship and plain and fancy knot tying. They man the rigging with the usual nimbleness associated with old-time sailors. Another field trip takes a group of reservists to the little town of Sintra, 14 miles from Lisbon. Sintra is known as the town of palaces. It has three, from Pena Palace, former royal summer residence, set high among the rocky peaks, the sailors can look up at the ruins of a Moorish castle on another crag. From Lisbon, still another group takes a bus to Cascia, a charming little fishing village west of Lisbon. Here at the Villa d'Italia, they get an opportunity to meet royalty in the person of ex-king of Italy, Umberto, and his two lovely daughters, the princesses Marie Beatrice and Maria Gabriella. Some of the reservists of Italian descent are introduced to the king and the two princesses. One of the sailors delights and amazes the royal family by snapping their picture with a Polaroid camera and presenting them with the finished photo. The pleasant day passes quickly, and it's back to Lisbon once more. Along the quay in Lisbon, the ships are full dressed with colorful flags and pennants in celebration of our own 4th of July. A group of Portuguese orphans are invited aboard the American ships. Like boys all over the world, they're curious about everything, particularly the guns. As a typical American treat, ice cream is served to the clowning youngsters. Station the special sea details. Stand by to answer all bells. Now it's heave up and underway again as the homeward-bound passage begins. Days and weeks have sped by almost unnoticed in training and in sightseeing. And now the last days of the cruise are in sight. But there's no let-up in emergency drill. General quarters, abandoned ship, man overboard, collision, damage control, and simulated engine casualties. Lessons learned in the over 300 Naval Reserve Training Centers located throughout the United States are put into practice. Every hour is important for the reserve, and the time spent by gun crews and other teams in practice today will be important in combat tomorrow. Petty officer in charge reports K-guns manned and ready. Each man learns speed and efficiency in his job so that his group will perform better as a unit. Charges hit the water and explode, sending spray in all directions and sealing the fate of a mythical submarine lurking in the depths. And then quite suddenly the cruise ends. According to plan, ships are ordered to break off and proceed independently or in twos and threes to their home ports. As the ships steam into the various harbors, the reservists look back over the past weeks and the great distance they've traveled. All now realize that the theory learned at weekly drills at the training centers has been translated into action. As a result of these weeks of action afloat, the Naval Reserve builds strong, disciplined, well-trained individuals who are part of the greatest nautical team in the world, the United States Navy. This skilled, vigorous, confident United States Naval Reserve is our country's best answer to any threat of enemy aggression.